Okay, students, now in this video we're going to continue explaining the present continuous and simple and present simple, okay? But be careful because this time we're going to mix both tenses, okay? Present continuous and present simple. Okay, compare. It says present continuous, I am doing. Remember that when we use the present continuous, we are talking about actions that are taking place at the moment of speaking, all right? And the present simple, we use that tense to refer to situations or actions that we generally do. We use the simple present, it says, for things in general or things that happen repeatedly. We use the continuous for things happening or around the time of speaking. The action is not complete. So take into account that sentence. It says, the action is not complete. I am doing an assignment. For example, I am doing that assignment at this moment, okay? I am doing that. The action is not complete. So that's why you need to have in mind how to compare both tenses, how to distinguish both tenses. Okay. Now look at these examples. In this column here at your right, you have examples of the present continuous. And at the right, you have examples of present simple. The water is boiling. Be careful. The water is boiling. Be careful. Listen to those people. What language are they speaking? What language are they speaking? Those people are talking at this moment or are speaking at this moment. What language are they speaking? Okay, but look at the other side. It says water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Excuse me, do you speak English? Excuse me, do you speak English? Look at the other sentence. Let's go out. It isn't raining now. Let's go out. It isn't raining now. This sentence is in negative. Remember, isn't. It isn't raining now. It is not raining now, okay? Not using contraction. But in this case, we are using contraction. It isn't. It says, it doesn't rain very much in summer, okay? It doesn't happen in summer. What thing? Well, it doesn't rain very much in summer. I'm busy. I'm busy. What are you doing? If you are busy, it's because you are doing something, right? I'm busy. What are you doing? Okay, what are you doing now? What are you doing at this moment, right now? What are you doing? You can say, for example, oh, I'm reading a book. I'm reading a book of English. What are you doing? Oh, I'm watching the TV. Or I'm listening to music. Or I am calling my mom. Okay, what are you doing at this moment? But in simple present, you can say, what do you usually do at weekends? What activity you do on weekends or at weekends? What do you usually do? Okay, you can also say on weekends. At weekends is okay. On weekends is also okay. What do you usually do on weekends? What do you usually do at weekends? You can say, for example, well, I usually go to the river with my family, or I usually stay home watching movies at night. I usually drive my car, or I usually practice mathematics at weekends. Okay, I'm getting hungry. I'm getting hungry. Let's go and eat. Okay? You are hungry now. At this moment, you are getting hungry. Let's go out. Let's go and eat. I always get hungry in the afternoon. I always. Okay, people, you can see that in this column you have sentences in which you're using usually, you're using always. Those are frequency adverbs. Frequency adverbs. And this is one of the hints that you can see that help you know if it is in simple present, okay? When you use usually, always, never, sometimes, then you are using the simple present. Okay, Kate wants to work in Italy, so she's learning Italian. Kate wants to work in Italy, so she's learning she's learning Italian. Most people learn to swim when they are children, okay? Most people learn to swim when they are children. Okay, the population of the world is increasing very fast. Every day is another phrase that you can use when you're speaking in simple present. Every day the population of the world increases by about, okay, 200,000 people. All right. We use the continuous for temporary situations, things that continue for a short time. Examples: I'm living with some friends until I find a place of my own. You're working hard today. Yes, I have a lot to do. On the contrary, we use the simple for permanent situations, things that continue for a long time. Examples: my parents live in London. They have lived there all their lives. Joe isn't lazy. He works hard most of the time. You can see here that you need, we're using the S here. We're adding an S here because we are talking in simple present and we are using he, which refers to Joe. Joe is the same as he. He replaces Joe. Joe isn't lazy. He works hard most of the time. Okay, let's continue with these examples. I always do and I'm always doing. I always do something. I do it every time as a habit. I always go to work by car. I always is an adverb of frequency. I always go to work by car, not I'm always going. No. Okay, the correct one is I always go to work by car. I'm always doing something. I do it too often or more often than normal. For example, I've lost my keys again. Again, I'm always losing them. I'm always losing them. I lose them too often or more often than normal. Paul is never satisfied. He's always complaining. He complains too much. This is in present continuous and this is in simple present. You're always looking at your phone. You're always looking at your phone. Don't you have anything else to do? You're always looking at your phone. Don't you have anything else to do? Alright, let's continue, people. If you have any question, please let me know. Here we have a chart that contains some adverbs of frequency. Okay, if you don't have the meaning of these frequency adverbs or adverbs of frequency, then you can take a dictionary and see what the meanings of these frequency adverbs are. Okay, always, it means that you always do that or do that activity 100% of the time. Okay, I always study after class. It means that you never fail doing that activity, which is study. I always study after class. Usually 90%. I usually walk to work. I usually walk. Remember here in the verb walk, the is not pronounced. Walk to work. Normally, generally, I normally get good marks. Marks is the same as grades, okay? But mark is a word, is a British word. They use mark instead of grade. I normally, please don't say normally, no, or normally. No, no normally. You can say normally, generally. I normally get good grades. Often, frequently, often. Here the T is silent, okay? I often read in bed at night. I often read in bed at night. Sometimes, I sometimes sing in the shower. Occasionally, I occasionally go to bed late. I occasionally go to bed late. Seldom, 10%, occasionally 30%, sometimes 50%, often 70%. I seldom put salt on my food. I seldom put salt on my food. Hardly ever, rarely. I hardly ever get angry. It means that you usually don't get angry, okay? Never means never. 0%. Vegetarians never eat meat. What can you notice, people, in these examples that you have? What is the position of the frequency adverbs? Okay, think a little. Where is the adverb of frequency located in the sentence? That is a very interesting question. Yes, you can see that the adverb of frequency is usually before the verb, okay? Usually the adverb of frequency is before the verb. That's why they are called adverbs. I always study after class. I usually walk. I normally get. This is the verb, this is the verb, verb, and verb. Okay? Sorry, verb is this one. It. Okay? It. Okay, there are some adverb of frequency that you can put them at the end of the sentence or at the beginning. For example, sometimes or occasionally. You can put them at the end of the sentence. You can say in this sentence, I sing in the shower sometimes, or sometimes I sing in the shower, or occasionally I go to bed late. Okay? But usually the adverbs of frequency are before the verb. Here you have some structures that you can follow to construct correct sentences. Daniel always passes his exams. You have subject, Daniel, adverb, always, main verb, passes. The rest is the complement. Subject, he, be, is, always, is the adverb, and happy, the complement, right? But you need to compare these two sentences. What can you tell me? What is the difference between these two sentences? You can see that when you use the verb be, the adverb of frequency is after the verb. He is always, okay, after the verb be. It is an exception, okay, with this verb. But if you are not using the verb to be and you are using another verb, such as passes, then you have to put the adverb in the correct position, which is before the verb. Okay, students, this has been the third video about this interesting topic in which we have combined both tenses, the present progressive or present continuous and the simple present. Now is your time for practicing. It's your time for taking the exercises. Remember, if you have any question, let me know Okay, students, see you in the next video. Have a good time.